Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is another US reaction, and this one is the average American versus the average British person. How do they compare? By the infographics show again. I'm really enjoying the infographics reactions. Their videos, I don't know, I just enjoy them. The comparisons are fun to see. It's fun to see the cultural differences and yeah, like finding out how truly different we are because it's weird. Like in terms of like how close countries are, the UK or England and the US, you would consider them like two of the closest kind of countries, like closest, some of the closest countries in the world in terms of like cultures and just like how sort of similar certain aspects are, even though they're so like so far from each other. But when you really delve deep into it, you realize big differences. Like beforehand, I thought the big differences were like sports, really, mainly just sports, like how in the UK that the sports that we enjoy here are completely different to the US, vice versa. But the more I'm seeing, the more I'm realizing, like, damn, there's a lot of differences. But I'm enjoying these reactions, and you all seem to be as well. So I mean, suggest more of these reactions because I'm loving them. And yeah, we're just gonna keep with these types of videos because they're going down really well and they're just fun to learn about, really. But let's just get into this. Quick shout to my Instagram and my Twitter. If you want to follow me and interact with me, I try to talk with people who message me. It's hard because there's a lot of people, but if you want that and you want to try, or just you want to follow me, whatever it is, links are in the description. Same for my second channel. We're close to hitting 10k on the second channel, so I mean, if you subscribe to that, I'd really appreciate it. I post a lot of random content on there, a lot more sport, but other things as well. But yeah, links in the description for all those things. But without waffling too much, let's just get into this and see more of the cultural differences, man. I love these types of videos. I
Two
really
of the
do.
closest allies in the world today are the United States of America and the United Kingdom of Great Britain, with both countries considering their bilateral partnership to be the strongest of bonds. The British-American bloodline runs deep, with millions of Americans identifying themselves as having either English, Scottish, Welsh, or Scotch-Irish ancestry. Given these close ties, we thought it would be fun to compare these two powerful nations in this episode of the infographic show, The Average American versus the Average Brit.
Here we
Don't
go.
forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notification squad. First of all, we should explain what the United Kingdom of Great Britain is, as it's often an area of confusion. When we talk about the UK, we are referring to the United Kingdom
This music is very loud in the background.
of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, which is a sovereign state consisting of 4 countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The average Brit we are discussing today is someone from the UK. In terms of ancestral relations, according to a Census Bureau American Community Survey, nearly 27 million people identified as being part English, over 5.5 million said Scottish, about 5 million said Scotch-Irish, and nearly 2 million said Welsh.
Jeez.
Although Irish and German Americans make up larger portions of the US public, it's thought there are a lot more Americans that have Brit blood flowing through their veins but no longer consider themselves being anything other than a full-blooded American. With this in mind, we'll start with some comparisons of
That's still interesting. There's still 27 million, 5.5, 5 million, 2 million, nearly 40 million people in the US who consider themselves somewhat British. That's very interesting. That's nearly the whole population of Britain itself, which is crazy.
physical nature. The average Brit stands just a
That's a
fraction
funny
taller
fact.
than the average American, with the BBC lately reporting that the
I'm
average
sure,
man
so
in
it
the
means
UK
nothing.
is now 5 feet 10 inches, and the
I'm 5'10", ja. Still say I am. I'm not, but I'll say I am. I'm 5'9.9", so 5'10", you know. Don't want to talk about
average
it.
woman is 5 feet 5 inches. American men average 5 feet 9.5 inches, and American women 5 feet 3.5 inches. Both countries are
American
considered
women
to be
are
not
small.
so well proportioned when compared to other more developed nations, with a new report from the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation stating that the USA is in 18th place on the world's most obese nations list. Only Egypt was the other populous nation in the top 20 countries, which was
Where's
filled
the
mostly
UK?
by countries in the South Pacific. The UK, however, might also need to get in shape, with reports stating that obesity is a national tragedy, and that by 2025, the UK will be the fattest country in Europe. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's latest report, the average American male is now 195.7 pounds, and the average woman is 168.5 pounds. The average
That's not... Is 76k? Really?
British man is 186.2 pounds, and the average woman is 154
So I'm
pounds.
under that
Does
then.
the fact both countries
What
are
the
perhaps
hell?
on the heavy side influence life expectancy? American men on average will live to 77.11 years, and American
Still
women
very, very good
81.94.
mean age.
Citizens of the United Kingdom can expect to clock out at a similar age on average, with male life expectancy standing at 79.1 and female life expectancy 82.8.
very, very
The
similar
median
there.
age, meaning half the country is older and half the country younger, is 37.8 in the USA for men and women, and right on 40 in the UK. Which country is making more babies at the moment? Current statistics state that the US and UK are similar here, with births per woman in America averaging 1.84 and in the UK 1.9. Marriage rates have decreased in many developed nations over the last few decades. According to the CDC, in 2015, 6.8 people per 1,000 of the total population tied the knot in the USA, while in the UK that number was 4.5.
That's very low. What the
Around
hell?
42% of UK marriages end in divorce, with almost half of US marriages ending the same way. On that sobering note, we'll take a look at.
So a lot of people. Gee, I mean, I was not expecting these kind of statistics, but I'm here for it, right? I'm here for these wild, just the weirdest sort of facts. But it's interesting. 50% and 42%. There's a lot of breakups.
Money matters. In terms of industry, both nations are considered champions of the world, but according to the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, the USA citizen grosses a higher salary than the average UK person. The average gross salary in the USA was the 5th highest in the world at $4,893 per month, while the UK sat in 14th place on the list with an average.
Boy, the difference in that. I know, like, when it comes to wages, it also depends on like where you're from. So maybe where you live, prices for certain things are more expensive or the tax is more expensive, but when you see that, that's kind of crazy. 1.4k
average of $3,461 per month. In terms of cost of living, Americans might need the few extra dollars, with one report putting the USA in 18th place in the world on a cost of living index and the UK in 29th place. We must also note that cost of living and wages can change dramatically from city to city. If we take a look at the economics Big Mac index, we find that the cost of a Big Mac in the US is $5.06, while the Brits only pay $3.73. At the same time, the index shows someone in London has to.
So that means it's like what? £2.50? That's just a Big Mac on its own and not a Big Mac meal.
Work on average 1 minute longer than someone in New York to buy the same burger. At the high end of the earnings scale, the US is home to the richest man on the planet, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates.
That's changed now. It's Jeff Bezos, and I've been seeing a lot of suggestions to react to a video on Jeff Bezos, so I'm going to do that 100%. It's probably going to be a second channel video, but I'm going to do it without a doubt, because I do love those kinds of videos. And I swear Elon Musk recently as well was up there now.
Whose fortune amounts to around $87 billion. The richest person in the UK is actually listed as two brothers, who are part of the Hinduja family. Their net worth is around $16.9 billion, according to Forbes. In total, there are 134 billionaires based in the UK, according to the Sunday Times, while the USA has the most billionaires in the world at 565. What do Americans and Brits get for all their hard work? Well, the Brits don't work as hard, according to one study that divided the total number of hours actually worked by the average number of people in employment per year. The USA was 16th on the list at 34.40 hours per week, and the UK was 24th on the list at 32.25 hours per week. The Brits also get more time off, with workers by law given 5.6 weeks of paid vacation time per year. In the US, there is no such law, and paid time off is an agreement made between the employer and the employee.
That US one, that unpaid vacation for the US one makes me sad, because I saw a lot of comments of people saying a lot of people can't take vacations because they have to work to keep the money. And that is a very sort of just sad thought to me, man. That's just depressing. In terms of it's just I feel bad for that, because I mean it's probably the same for a lot of people in the UK as well. But I just saw a lot of comments of people from the US saying that, and you got to feel for it, because I mean when you're that sort of in need to work, you can't have any time off. It's just like, wow, you're really like pushing yourself to the limits in that sort of sense, man. So anyone out there who like watches these reactions who has to go through that. Like, honestly, I props to you, because I don't know how you can manage that, but I rate it so much.
The average paid days off in the US is said to be about 10 days, with that number increasing with the number of years in a certain job. The UK has less public holidays, though, at 8 days, with the US enjoying 10 national public holidays. Americans may work harder, but they also seem to be getting more for their buck. While the British public has been dealing with drastically increasing property prices, they also live in very small abodes. Studies have found that Britain's houses on average are some of the smallest in Europe at around 818 square feet. American citizens on average can enjoy much larger living areas, with the average house size being around 2,160.
Oh my, see, that in the UK is a mansion. I don't even care. That's like 3 times the size. 2.5 times the size. That's like a mansion in the UK. Jeez, man. I'm jealous, you know.
The US also has more in terms of vehicle ownership. America is third on the list of number of vehicles owned per 1,000 people at 797, excluding motorcycles and anything else on 2 wheels. The UK lies in 34th place on the same list with 519 vehicles per 1,000 people. Rising property prices, expensive cars. What does this mean in terms of borrowing money? Household debt statistics, which is measured by all money owed to financial institutions, whether it be for a house or a BMW, has both the UK and the US in the top 10 countries of the world. For 2016, the UK was in 6th place on the household debt list, and the US not far behind in 7th place. UK citizens looking for a higher education and a good start in life might also have to take on a lot of debt before they actually embark on a career. While much of Europe enjoys a free ride or low-cost higher education, England is now said to be the most expensive place in the world to get a college.
I mean, I'm not going to uni, or it's called college in the US, but I'm not going to uni in the UK. No way. The prices are just stupid, man. It's actually ridiculous how you can price that much, like price people out that much to go to college/uni. It's just ridiculous.
Agree. The latest reports state UK nationals attending an English university can expect annual tuition to be $11,715 compared to the $9,410 Americans pay on average per year. On average, the class of 2016 in the USA owed around $37,172 in loans, while students graduating from a university in England could expect to owe as much as something in the region of $40,000 to $55,000. Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland all have cheaper university tuition fees or no tuition fee for Scottish people studying in Scotland. Students may still have to borrow to study, though, with a recent report by the Student Loans Company stating the average student debt in Northern Ireland and Scotland was around $26,000 and $15,000 respectively. The Welsh have part of their tuition fees paid for by the Welsh government, but students still rack up debts on average of around $24,000. UK citizens may take some comfort in matters of healthcare, with most costs covered by Britain's National Health Service. Americans are not so fortunate, with an article in The Atlantic this year stating that more than a quarter of Americans said that someone in their household was struggling to pay off crushing medical debts. With that, we come to the...
I swear I heard something, I don't know how reliable this is, but ages ago, like, I swear, I don't know if this is right, but paracetamol costs like loads in the US, and again, I might be completely wrong. I'm going to just search this, I don't care how stupid I sound. How much does I can't spell it, but we're going to cost in the US. Is this like just a stupid fact? $6? Oh, for 130. Okay, so that's just lies. That's just... Okay, that's a bit of a lie then. Wait. Okay, it isn't bad then. That confused me for a second. But like for inhalers, for example, like I've got asthma and it costs £9, and when I was under 18 it was free, which I'm so thankful for, because I wouldn't have been able to pay that, especially when I was younger. And now I obviously can pay it, but it's still like, if it was like a lot more, it'd be a lot harder to do. But like in the US, like for an inhaler or for like eczema, like creams for eczema, or just all those types of things, what are the prices? Because I've heard, and again, I don't know how reliable those are, it's so much more than in the UK, which is a scary thought, because it just makes me realise how sort of, in that sort of area, I am lucky, even though we get higher taxes because of that. It does make me feel a lot like happy, because especially me dealing with those kinds of issues. But in terms of this whole video, this is very interesting. I love seeing these comparisons, man. The cultural differences, just not even the cultural differences, just the differences in general. Like, it's just fun seeing it, man. And like how much bigger the houses in US. There's pros and cons to both sides, right? But I'm not gonna lie, the houses one gets me. Like the sizes of US houses are just massive. Like I live in a small house. I'm not gonna lie. I used to live with me, my brother, my other brother, my sister, my dad, my mum. 6 people in quite a small house, in a 2-bedroom house, but one room was turned into a bedroom, so 3-bedroom house basically. Wow. In this room, there used to be 3. Me and my 2 brothers used to be sleeping in this room, which is crazy because it's a tiny room. Well, not tiny, but it's quite a small room for 3 people. But I guess in the US, you don't have those kinds of issues. But I could be completely wrong, because I mean, if people have big families, they're probably going to have the same type of things going on. But let's read some of the comments. The only reason Americans have bigger houses is because they have 9 times the land of the UK. But still, the houses are just huge. They're so big. About the UK, we don't drink tea all the time. I don't really drink tea. Sometimes I will, I'm not going to lie, but I'm not really a big fan of tea. We don't all sound like the Queen. That's true. That is very true. There are a lot of different accents. It's crazy how in such a small space, there's so many different accents in the UK. UK like, America comment. It's just all likes. The closest bond in alliance. Well, the comment section says otherwise. Yeah, the internet, people on the internet love to sort of get angry about this sort of stuff. I don't know why. It confuses me how triggered people get. What are these comments, man? I think you'll find the USA colleges are far more expensive than $25,000 a year, not $9,000. Really? Just thought that because you're poor. Bro, these comments are toxic as hell, you know? bloody hell, people get angry about this stuff, but I love seeing these videos, and again, just more of these reactions, because I come into these reactions with an open mind and just wanting to learn. I'm not the type of person to get patriotic or triggered by things like this. I just find this fun to learn about. I don't know why people get so pissy, but hey, some people are like that, right? Especially on the internet. There's some very angry people, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. What would you say, for people who are watching to the end, is the craziest cultural difference for you? Because for me, I'm not too sure. There's so many different things, from the start to the end of this whole video. There's just so many different comparisons between the two countries. But hopefully, I can't talk. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this reaction. And until next time, subscribe. Peace.